evening, Niner fans. It is Friday night. It's late. It might be Saturday where, if you're on the East Coast. So appreciate y'all for tuning in. It's been a long day. We didn't get a minute till now, this late, to come to you live. But better late than never. As always, brought to you by Gold Bar Whiskey, Sleeper Fantasy, and Bet US. And you know what? I got my boy Bash in the building because we do this on Friday nights. We predict. We talk about the upcoming game. We talk about the trending headlines leading into Friday. There's a lot of juicy gossip that we got to talk about. What's up, Bash? How you doing, man?
Doing good, man. It's always great to link up with you. We unfortunately we're not able to connect last week. I had some computer issues last Friday, but we're here now, ready to talk some Niners. We came off of a very unfortunate loss, and we got to shake that up and let's see if we can be just beat New England. We got to do something, man.
Yeah, man. Shout out to everybody. And sorry if you guys are trying to join earlier. There's some technical difficulties, so we had to change some things. But we're back. We're ready. And good to have my boy Bash back. I'm glad that you got your computer difficulties issues settled up. But you know what? There's a team that needs to settle their issues, and that's the San Francisco 49ers, because they got some technical issues, like you said. 2 games in a row they've lost. Heartbreakers. They need to get back on track this week. And the best medicine is a win against the Patriots, who are not that great. They got a decent defense. They've won a game, but they got a new quarterback. A rookie. They got issues at the quarterback position, I would say. And a team that's looking for identity, rebuilding team, new head coach, all that stuff. 49ers are a 10-point favorite. They should win. It's at home, Levi Stadium. If they don't win, 49er fans are going to be very mad, very pissed off. So, yeah, the 49ers should win this game. But let's talk about all the stuff leading up to Sunday, and then we'll make our predictions. So today, Bash, the 49ers let their injury report go out. The big news of the day is George Kittle is going to play Sunday. He's cleared. He had an hamstring issue last week. He didn't practice. He practiced 3 days in a row this week, and he's cleared for Sunday. What do you think? George Kittle, the people's tight end.
I don't know. I lost Raj some way somehow. I hope he comes back. But in the meantime, I'll tell everybody what I think. Maybe I think he's coming back in right now. George Kittle coming back is huge. It's huge. I mean, Eric Sober is an okay backup. The 49ers in general haven't had much for backups in terms of the tight end. At the tight end position, I mean, we tried to draft Cam Latu. Where is he now? I mean, it sucks. It sucked for George Kittle, actually, to be honest with you, because it's like he's had to carry the whole workload at the time at the tight end position for the team ever since we've had him. And let's see what's up with Raj. Let me text him really quick, see where he went. See what's up to the people in the chat, too. Looks like Raj is having some issues. We're all having issues. The team's having issues. I had issues with the computer last week, and I don't know if Raj is coming back. I think he will, though. He'll text me if he can't. John V's in the house. So I see you, John V. We got 49ers throwback in the chat. We got Baritz is in the chat. And let me just, hang on. I accidentally canceled somebody in the chat, and I should have. It was an accident. Unhide user on the chat. Okay, I think he's good now. Cool. Sorry about that, bro. Welcome back, Raj. How you doing? I was just, again, we're all having issues. The team's having it, but the bigger issues are with the team right now. We could all agree on that. Whether it's my computer or you getting kicked off of StreamYard, Jeez, man. I really thought we could regroup in this week's practice. And it's great to hear that Kittle was coming back, right? I was basically talking about how Sober filled in and did an okay job. I mean, I set the bar really low for Sober, assuming as him being the starting tight end, right? But it's great to have an amazing tight end like George Kittle back in the mix. The blocking, the receiving, the leadership, all that hoorah stuff that he does. I mean, it's a game changer to bring him back. So, yeah. But again, maybe one day we could have a nice backup for Kittle where we don't have to worry too much if he's injured. But some other guys got hurt in practice this week. It's very heartbreaking. And if you want to touch on that, go ahead, man.
Yeah, I want to go back. Sorry about the technical difficulties. But yeah, you know what? George Kittle back is huge because Eric Sauber played okay. He played good. Like that was a decent performance, but he's not George Kittle. You need a guy like Kittle, especially when Brandon Ayuk was dropping passes last week, and we're going to talk about him in a minute. But yeah, it's nice to see George Kittle back in action. We need a blocking game. I feel like it'll open up a lot because obviously they've had some issues with, offensive linemen. Kittle's going to help that. He's going to help the passing game. He's just so good. And, it's tough when you lose him because you definitely need him. And they didn't have Debo last week and all that. So I'm so excited to see the People's tight end back. It happens throughout the seasons. He misses a few games here and there, gets nicked up. He plays so tough, but good to have him. Now, you're right. There were some other injuries that the 49ers had today. This one was pretty crazy because Curtis Robinson, linebacker, he tore his ACL in yesterday's practice. This was a big injury because Devondre Campbell has not played well, linebacker. We know Fred Warner is the great linebacker, the best linebacker in the league, one of the best football players. And unfortunately, we needed a guy to come in and step up. Curtis Robinson's pretty good at special teams, and he's showed some flex, some muscle in terms of being a capable linebacker on this team. But now he's gone. D. Winters has been dealing with an ankle. He's questionable. So linebacker depth, which was once mighty for the 49ers, is kind of taking a hit. They got Demetrius Flannigan Fowles, but he's a special teamer. 49ers desperately need Dre Greenlaw because there's so much pressure on Fred Warner. And now Devondre Campbell is probably going to be continuing to start, especially with Curtis Robinson taking this hurt. Hopefully, again, like I said, D. Winters can play, but that Jalen Graham cut earlier this offseason is looking really bad. And, hopefully the rookie, Tatum Bethune, can get some opportunities. But we all know Kyle and the rookies don't always jive. So what do you think? Curtis Robinson tearing his ACL in practice. That's horrible. He got carted off. What do you think?
So Curtis Robinson's a name. I think he was on the team like 2 years ago as strictly a special teamer.
Yeah.
And going into this mini camp and training camp, like I saw his name and I was like, "Who's this guy?" I literally did not even remember him being a special teamer. But what I did hear the whole time in training camp was that he's looked really, really good. And once the preseason games were played, I was like, "Whoa, look at this guy, man! He's looking really nice." He's basically telling them, "Hey, I'm more than a special teamer," It's sad. It really, really sucks because we all saw Devondre Campbell look like trash this last weekend. I don't have a nicer way of saying that.
There really is nothing nicer to say. He was bad in coverage, bad in the run game. He was awful. You're right. So we need him, and you're right. Robinson stepped up. So I agree with you, Bash. There was a couple other injuries today, just in general this week. So there's a couple players that are questionable. Talanoa Hufanga has an ankle issue. He's questionable. I figured he'd be sore, but first week after coming back, Talanoa Hufanga is questionable. D. Winters, he's got the ankle issue he's been dealing with. He's questionable, like we mentioned. Jordan Elliott, he popped up on the injury report this week. He's got an ankle issue. He's questionable. He practiced today. But with Javon Hargrave going out for the season with the torn triceps, this is huge that Jordan Elliott's not going to questionable. I'm not saying he's not going to play, but we need him. We need him to be able to go in there and do the thing, on the defensive line. So that's a big injury. And then two other guys that are kind of big names for 49ers are questionable. Debo, we knew that he'd probably be questionable this week. He returned to practice. It's great, but he's got the calf injury. He's questionable. I don't think he's going to play. Last week, Kittle was questionable with the hamstring, and he didn't play. Then he got moved to doubtful. So I don't know. I don't know if Debo will play. I hope he does, but we don't want to re-aggravate it. This is the Patriots. They could probably win with George Kittle back in the lineup and not Debo. But then the other injury, Trent Williams popped up on the injured line or in the injured list with a toe injury. So he's questionable. So you got Hufanga, D. Winters, Jordan Elliott, Debo Samuel, and Trent Williams are all questionable with injuries. What do you think?
Man, last year I was kind of joking about this, and I hate to joke about it, but we're banged up Niner gang right now. That's what we are, man. It really sucks. But other people have to step up to the plate. And like Kyle Shanahan said this week, in the presser, he said other teams around the league have injuries too. But I don't know if it's as bad as we got. I mean, right, like I said, right when I thought things were going to be okay injury wise and things were getting better, boom, we lose Curtis Robinson, Javon Hargrave. That's terrible. That's horrible. I was really excited to see what D. Winters can do if we could get him on the field some way, somehow. And then he's got this lingering ankle injury. So you mentioned Tatum Bethune. And yeah, somebody's got to step up to play. Again, we're not playing a powerhouse. It's a game that we should win. But then again, we thought that this past weekend, didn't we? Against the Rams.
Yeah. They should have won that game. But like I said, it's just one of those things. This season's injuries are catching up. I got a comment here from Tej Beats. He says the season just doesn't feel right. Won't be surprised if we're wild card or first round exits. I think we might be a wild card the way it's going, but I don't hate that. Again, I said it before this week that if the 49ers are a wild card team, I'm okay with that because they play good when they're the underdogs, when people don't expect them to win and they're, backs against the wall. So that's okay. But kind of feels like they might be this 10-7 type team right now with the injuries. I mean, it's been a tough season so far. So I don't know. It's been weird. I got another question from or another comment from California man. The 49ers are seeking their first home win over the Patriots since 1995. That's crazy. Obviously, Tom Brady played for the Patriots for a long time and it was hard to beat them. But 1995, dude, that's crazy. This went back when the Wu Tang was dominating the airwaves. Wu Tang Clan ain't nothing to with back in '95.
Back
Exotic
then,
Kings.
Notorious B.I.G. was coming out, and the Loonies. I got 5 on it. The Bay Area
Looney,
got to be loyal to the
Diddy was
soil,
doing his thing. Diddy was doing his thing.
bro. You're talking about Diddy, man. There's some crazy memes. There's some cartoon that I watched about Diddy and Usher and whatever. So it was one of the craziest things I saw on Instagram. It was
I've probably
hilarious.
seen it. Yeah,
If you haven't seen it yet, I'll send it to you. I mean, we're going off topic a little bit, but it's nuts. But the thing is, though, the 49, you mentioned 1995. It's very seldomly the 49ers ever have host a game with the Patriots in town, though, too, right? Yeah. I mean, I remember one time when the Patriots had their backup or something like that, and they were throwing to Randy Moss, and it's just one of those rare things for the Patriots to show up on our home turf.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't remember seeing the Patriots play the Niners in a long time.
Yeah, it's very rare.
I remember the Niners played them in Gillette back when 2012. I posted a highlight clip when it was the Harbaugh-led Niners, and they went into Gillette. They were up big, and then Brady leads the comeback, and then of course a Crabtree saves the game. He's the hero. Yeah. But I mean, that's when the Niners had Moss and freaking Crabtree. Randy Moss goes back to Gillette, played his old team, but it was like end of his career. Randy Moss. That team was great. 2012. That Niners team was something else.
You can make the argument that was one of Kaepernick's better games. He had like 4 touchdowns, and
dude, that game was insane.
That was a really fun game to watch.
That was a crazy game. Back and forth defense. Defense was picking off Brady. Brady came back, and I was like, "What?" They fumbled the ball, and Gore fumbled, picked it up, touchdown. What a game, man! That was one of my favorite games in that era. But yeah, flash forward to today. Both these teams are a lot different. Niners coming off a Super Bowl loss. Patriots are trying to find their identity. So we'll see how it goes. Niners, again, should win. We did talk about the injuries. We talked about questionable Talanoa Hufanga, D winners, Jordan Elliott, Deebo Samuel, and Trent Williams. I want you to give me your thoughts. Trent Williams, again, he popped up on the injury list this week. He was sick the other day. He had like the flu or whatever. I don't know what he had, but he was sick. Probably sick and tired of the bullshit. And then he he's got a toe injury. If Trent Williams can't play, are we cooked? Bash, tell me what's up with Trent Williams.
Are we cooked? Are we cooked? I mean, let's assume Trent Williams doesn't play for whatever weird reason. He stubs his toe against the sofa or something.
Yeah.
And Jalen Moore is in there. It's funny. As bad as Jalen Moore looks in the preseason from time to time, I have seen him like step into real games and do a pretty decent job. I'm not saying that that's what I want to see. Of course, I'd rather have Trent Williams out there. Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Trent Williams have an injury scare in the game against the Rams? I could have sworn he did, but that game's kind of a blur.
In the Rams game, he left because he was cramping. He was.
Okay, that's what it was.
Yeah, that's what it was. He was cramping his style. So he's had back-to-back games with cramps, and they had to give him an IV back-to-back games. So I hope he could play, man, because Jalen Moore's decent, but you can't have Jalen Moore and Colton McKivitz. No. Now there was a good little tidbit yesterday when Chris Forster, the offensive line coach, met with the media. He says that they're actually working Spencer Burford in at tackle at practice. He played tackle at college.
Okay.
Now they're trying him out at tackle. I kind of like that. I think he could be effective. I mean, if he's better than Colton McKivitz, hell yeah, throw him in there. Let him play tackle. And, Trent Williams does get banged up. He does get hurt a little bit here and there. I mean, if Burford could play good tackle, might as well. It's good for the depth because they don't really have tackle depth. They don't have any tackle depth right now.
Nope. And that all goes back to the draft of the past couple of years, right? A guy like me was pounding the table, saying every swear word in the book on the live draft shows on my friends' channels, and things like we're just like playing like it's like an uphill battle now. Like we have to worry about Trent Williams possibly retiring in the future. Like when are we going to shore up that position and prepare for the future? You don't want to be like it's out of luck when Trent retires or whatever, and then I'm assuming they think that they can go the free agent route and not develop anybody. I don't know. I don't know what they have in mind. But if they really find a, I'm not going to get too excited about it. Burford really pissed me off in the Super Bowl. I'm sure I'm not the only one to say that. But if he can redeem himself, though, if he can redeem himself and somehow have this magical Cinderella season where he somehow beats McKivitz, and then all of a sudden Brock Purdy has more time to throw, and obviously he's going to be, if he was the right tackle, he'd be playing next to Pooney, who so far Pooney's been looking pretty nice. I did see a couple mistakes, a little bit here and there past couple of games. If you want to go ahead and respond to that, go right ahead. But in general, the Poonies look pretty awesome. He's only human. He's a rookie. I get it. So if Burford could somehow step in and redeem his career some way, somehow, I'll welcome it. I remember we picked up that guy Hubbard. I was hoping Hubbard would be there to challenge on McKivitz, but not yet at least. So yeah,
he didn't have it, man. I mean, I give Pooney a lot of credit. He's played pretty damn good, man. I mean, yeah, he's going to make a mistake here and there. He's a rookie. I'm okay with the rookie he's going through that because it's growing pains, but he's been pretty serviceable. He hasn't been a bad lineman compared to like Jake Brandel or Colton McKivitz, So I think he's got a bright future. So yeah, I think eventually they're going to need to figure out this offensive line because you keep neglecting it, and there's going to be a day when Trent Williams retires. We're going to cry, and then we're going to cry harder to cope with the fact that we don't have his replacement yet. So it's something to figure out. I know there's somebody in the chat that says he's got consistent lower extremity injuries. Like, he does get lower body injuries all the time, a hamstring, calf. It's a tough position to play, with the offensive line, and he's getting older. He's not getting any younger, So yeah, it takes a toll on his body, and now a toe injury. Like, I hope it's not a turf toe issue, but that's one of those things you got to deal with. And hopefully Trent can be okay. He is questionable. He's a tough guy, but you don't want any lingering things to get worse. So it's unfortunate. I hope he plays. Now, there's a guy that was on the injury report earlier this week, but he got cleared. Brock Purdy, he had the back issues. I think his back was just hurting from carrying the team, honestly, but he's cleared. He'll play
That's a good
Sunday. One. And Brock, you know what, man? He's been having a hell of a season so far. He doesn't have the touchdown numbers, but he's been putting up some crazy stats. He's like number 2 in passing, and he doesn't even have that much yak yards. I think he's like very towards the bottom in yak. Let me see the stat. Let me see. I know they posted it today on NFL on Fox. He's got the second most pass yards. He's had his wide receivers are averaging the lowest yak in the NFL, which is crazy because the Niners are the yak
known for that.
They're known for yak. So he's actually not dinking and dunking. And I posted on Twitter. I was like, well, there goes the check down merchant narrative. Everybody said he's a check down merchant. You know what? He's throwing that shit deep. He's slinging that pill. He's throwing it deep. He's carving up defenses. So Brock Purdy, man, he's proven that he can actually sling that ball. So good for Brock. I love to see it. I hope he has a big game. What you think, Brock Purdy? He's off the injury list. He's ready to roll. Second in passing yards.
It's very unfortunate that we lost this last game because that was going to be like the statement game to say, hey, look, Brock can win it without Kittle, without CMC, and with a guy like Ayuk not playing like the real Ayuk. All of a sudden, Jennings just steps up and looks like a freaking Brandon Marshall, a poor man's version of Brandon Marshall, basically, is what I call him. If that's not a proper comparison, you're more than welcome to correct me on that one. But Jennings is for somebody who runs like a 4.7 240. How does he get open so damn much? Like the one touchdown he had at the back of the end zone, nobody was anywhere near him. It's like nobody was close to him. And he can still get separated on deep routes and everything. It's just crazy. And I was hoping this was happening during the game. And I'll talk about Brock in just a second, but I was hoping this would happen in the game when Ayuk's playing. And like, dude, don't you see this right in front of your eyes? Like, Jennings is balling the F out. Like, isn't that going to inspire you to do better? Like, but I guess, dude, missing all that time is crucial, man. It's so underrated. And Larry Krueger was right, man. He said it multiple times. Like, nothing can like you could practice in front of a big like pine tree all you want or a redwood tree. It's never going to equate to playing at real football or practicing real football. But back to Brock, man. Again. Even Richard Sherman said it. He still thinks it was a statement game for Brock. He still thinks Brock made a statement despite the loss. The loss was pretty much based on the defense. We know that. We put the team, and on top of that, the missed field goal too. If you want to go that far, the drops. Pick your poison on why we lost. It was definitely not because of Brock. Somebody went out of their way to say, "Oh, Brock hasn't made that game-winning throw yet. He'll impress me when he makes a game-winning throw." Like, really, dude? Like, are you watching the games, man? And this is supposedly a Niner fan that said that. But yeah, I think we're really fortunate, very fortunate to have Brock. I mean, Sherman, when I was way to say top 5, I was saying top 10. And for the most part, I say top 10, but pretty soon later down the road in the season, top 5 will probably be right. We'll see.
Absolutely, top 5 quarterback right now. The way he's playing, the way he's putting his team in a position to win, he's driving the ball down. He's running the ball, he's making plays, he's extending plays. Again, the line is banged up. Offensive line is not always giving him time, and he's creating plays with his legs, man. The wheels he has, 41 yards. I think 49ers Throwback said that picture where he's diving on the field. I posted that one this week. I mean, that was cold blooded. I mean, you just see him diving for the pylon, probably where he hurt his back, right? Because he's diving, twisting, moving, juking, jiving, whatever you're going to talk about. He's doing it, man. Brock's him. He's playing out of his mind. And, going back to Jennings, he's got so much trust with the guy like that. So kudos to those two guys who are late round picks. Both of them are 7th round picks, and they're just carving up the league. You love it. Jennings just plays underrated. People forget about him. He plays with heart, and he knows how to get open, man, and he knows how to catch the ball when the ball's in his hands. Unlike some of these other guys like Ronnie Bell, you talked about it. Special teams, defense, drops, missed field goals, a lot of issues. They need to clean that up. It's early in the season. They can clean it up and get on a winning streak, and it starts this week. I want to go into Brandon Ayuk. You mentioned Brandon Ayuk. You know what? One of the big topics.
I got one more thing about Jennings too. Whenever you got a chance.
Yeah, go ahead. Go tell me about Jennings.
For any of you who never saw this, go back and watch the video of Juwan Jennings' first interaction with Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch, and our Jed York. It was a phone call. It was like you see the video of both of them talking one-on-one. When you see the enthusiasm from Juwan Jennings, and I saw this way back on draft day when it happened. Yeah. And I was like, okay, it was 7th-round pick. Well, I was watching the highlights. Okay, big dude that can high point the ball. Hey, let's see what we got in him. But when I saw how enthusiastic he was when talking to John Lynch and Kyle and Jed York, I was like, you know what? I think we got something here. He seemed so excited to become a Niner.
Yeah, I remember that video. He seems so that's the thing about Jennings. Like, he's just happy to be playing the game. He's just happy for the opportunities. He's just he loves it, man. He loves being a Niner, and he just loves that. He just loves football, and the Niners gave him the opportunity, so he puts his heart and soul, and that's what you see out of him. Like, he doesn't care that he's not getting paid as much in BA, but he's going out there and he plays with so much fire. I love BA, or I love Juwan Jennings for it, man. He should be the one getting $30 million. Speaking of $30 million, Vash, you mentioned his name a little bit. We gotta spend a good amount of time because Brandon Ayuk, money man, money bags, big boy, the money guy, the money man,
making it rain.
$30 million man. BA. A couple things he said this week. He says, "Well, I feel like teams are playing me different. Me and Brock, they know me and Brock's tendencies. Like, okay, you're $30 million man. Of course, if you're the wide receiver one, they're gonna double team you. They're gonna bracket you. So I kind of see what he's saying on that. And he's sometimes not getting the ball. A lot of people are saying Brock doesn't trust him because he's not throwing him the ball. But when you throw to him 10 times, he got 10 targets last game. He caught half of them. He dropped a lot of passes. Like, yeah, maybe your quarterback doesn't trust you because you're dropping passes. I mean, and Brock, he says, I could throw things a little better. I can put the ball on him a little bit more. Like, Brock takes credit for mistakes on his players. Like, he took credit for Ronnie Bell. I could have threw him a better ball. We got his back. Like, Brock's so humble, man. And when people mess up, he takes the blame as a quarterback, as a captain. It's pretty refreshing to see that, but I don't need him to do that. These guys know they messed up. This guy's getting paid a lot of money. Go out there, ball out, and figure it out. So, that was this week. And then today, I'm sure you saw this because this was mega viral. This guy, Brandon Ayuk, shows up to practice today. He's got some baggy red shorts, right? He's got some baggy red shorts. This is Shortgate, right? He's got some baggy red shorts. And I guess most people are like, well, okay, he's a grown man. He can wear what he wants. But there's a dress code. Everybody, if you go to school and you're a private school, you get a dress code. Sometimes you go to work, you get a dress code. Brandon Ayuk's a professional. They got a dress code, right? Okay. Like, I get it. You want to wear these shorts. Kyle ripped into him. You saw the video. He ripped into him. Was like, you wearing these shorts? I don't know what he said exactly, but it looked like he's like, what the hell? Look at around you. Everybody's wearing the same thing. Like, there's solidarity. Everybody else has to wear the pants. Like, just because you want to wear these pants or these shorts doesn't mean you can wear it. And then they asked him in the presser, and Kyle's like, yeah, he wore the wrong shorts. And he's like, I wish I could wear different shorts. Like, wear your uniform. I got a clip. I want to put it on there. And I want you to address the Ayuk situation.
Sure.
Did Brandon come out to practice today wearing the wrong shorts?
Yeah, he did. Good question. No. I wish I could wear different shorts.
How did George make it through the week?
Yeah.
So,
Come out to practice today wearing the wrong shorts?
Yeah, he did. Good question. No. I wish I could wear different shorts.
How did George make it through?
I didn't know that he performed the striptease on the practice field.
Yeah,
that's the part. I initially saw the video on your page too, but I totally overlooked that part. But yeah, that's just funny.
it was
Like,
a
come
long
on,
video.
man.
Shout out to Grant Cohn for getting that great footage. That was great footage. I got to give
That's
Grant a lot
really
of
good
credit.
footage. Yeah.
So yeah, so I didn't show the whole thing. You can watch the video where Kyle's like pointing the finger and telling him blah 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 whatever. And dude, bro, he just takes his shoes off. He drops trout. He had the black shorts on. He already had them on. Why did you put the red shorts on? And then he proceeds to take off those shorts and put the regular shorts on anyways. Like, dude, what is it? Just follow the rules, man. You're making a lot of money. If there's a rule in place, you got to follow. Like, you might not like it. You go to school sometimes. You don't like the rules. You go to work sometimes. You don't like the rules, but you got to follow them, man. And that's the point. I can't believe he took his pants and then he kicked. Then he kicked the shorts.
Oh man.
I'm gonna get some water while you. I want to hear your thoughts, back.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man, about the whole. I didn't know that the drink. I knew that they had a dress code, obviously, but I didn't know how strict it was or what the rules were, and I didn't think that Brandon Ayuk was going to try to do anything different from what the other players are doing. But I guess lesson learned on his part. I don't know if he just did it on purpose to try to piss somebody off. Who knows what's going through his mind. As far as Brandon Ayuk, though, during the game, though, I will say, I mean, when I was watching the game and I saw Brock Purdy have all this time to throw, and he was shifting around. I was like, "What are you doing, man? Throw it!" And all of a sudden, you see the replay and you see that Ayuk's hella open on this deep route. I'll be like, "Damn, that would have been nice for him to throw it there." But Shanahan actually said that he didn't run the proper route, and part of me thinks, well, maybe while the game was going, I was like, well, Ayuk was dropping some passes. I don't know if Brock Purdy was second guessing him. And like, should I throw it? Should I not throw it there? I don't know. It would have been nice if he threw it there so we could all say, hey, hey, he gave him a shot. He threw it there, his direction, but we'll never know what would have happened had he thrown it that direction. But in general, everybody knows that Brandon Ayuk has to be a better teammate. Brandon Ayuk has to play better. I'm tired. I gave him a pass week 1 because he's been gone for so damn long. But at the end of the day, I mean, him being gone all this time, though, probably did, he's saying teams are playing him different and all. He can say that all he wants, but in reality, I think the real reason why he's not Brandon Ayuk, obviously because he's missed so much time, but missing all that time with your quarterback, like the rapport, like he's had all this time to work with Jennings, right? Look how good Jennings looks. And early in the season, before Deebo got hurt, Deebo looked pretty good too. So it is what it is, man. Ayuk this is a wake up call for him right now. Like, dude, we play the Patriots. I get it, not the strongest team, but we're just coming off a loss, and we came off a loss that should have been a win. And Jennings looked like, arguably the greatest Niner receiver, not named T.O. or Jerry Rice. So he's got to step up.
Absolutely. Jennings looked like the guy that deserves $30 million after Sunday. And I get it. They were probably doubling BA, so it created opportunities for Jennings, but he still made the most of his opportunities. And also, you said it, maybe Brock just doesn't trust BA, because when he did throw it to him, he wasn't catching it. And it's like, dude, I can't put trust in you, because like Debo's been catching the ball when he's been in. Juwan Jennings been catching the ball. And those two guys went to training camp and they practiced with Brock and they got that chemistry. Brandon Ayuk's still in training camp mode. Like, in my opinion, he's still way behind these other guys. He's catching up. Because like you said, he was practicing in front of a pine tree or whatever you want to call that tree. Like, that's way different than training with your, actual cornerbacks and players and running routes and stuff. You can practice against the tree all you want. It ain't going to help you really in a game situation. Like, I don't know. That's what he was doing. He was training in high school. Go to your game. Go to your team. And I know you were trying your contract, but the fact that he had that same contract for 3 weeks and he sat on it and he sat on it and sat on it, and then he could have been in training camp for that time that contract was sitting there. The fact that he went back and then finally signed it, it's just to me it sounds like Brandon Ayuk really didn't know what he wanted this offseason, and he settled. I think he settled for the Niners. He's like, okay, it is the money I wanted. It is a championship caliber team. I got my teammates. I guess I'll stay. I don't know if he really is playing with heart with the Niners. Like, it just doesn't seem like he has the heart like Jennings. We said he plays with so much passion and fire. I don't see that fire out of Brandon Ayuk. Maybe I'm wrong. I just don't see it, man. I just don't see him dripping with that swag. You know, he doesn't have that aura. Like, he just doesn't look like he wants to be there. I mean,
Yeah.
I know I'm sitting here making a big deal
When he
about the
was pouty,
shorts.
when he was pouty in that locker room after the Super Bowl, that really rubbed me the wrong way. I'm sorry, dude. I'm talking
I
like
mean,
a couple of days after the Super Bowl, he was in the Santa Clara locker room, just pouting
yeah,
like a baby,
and
dude.
that's the thing. Like, he's done that, and if you go back to the Super Bowl, like, he couldn't get open in that game. He had a hard time separating, and then all off season, the situation that happened, and now like today, that was just a bad look for Brandon Ayuk. Whether it was blown out of proportion or not, you don't need these moments because you are struggling, and you've been under the microscope all off season, and now you're under a bigger microscope because they paid you a lot of money, and now anytime you make a mistake or anytime you do something that is probably against the grain, people are gonna call you out. And today, everybody called him out, dude. Like, it's just, I don't know, man. He needs to step up. If he has a big game this Sunday, and I think everybody will like, okay, good job. We'll start to accept you a little bit more because you're playing up to your contract. But he can't make any more mistakes, man. He's in my opinion, I think he's in the fans' doghouse. I don't know if he's in Kyle's doghouse. It looked like he kind of was today, but I don't know. He's definitely in the fans' doghouse.
I mean, I don't know what they're doing in practice because I'm obviously not there. No, we don't really see practice reports like we used to, unless, unfortunately, if somebody gets hurt, which I don't want to hear anymore. I don't want to hear anybody getting hurt in practice. But
Yeah.
like if Ayuk needs to like literally, I mean, maybe they're already doing it, but maybe they're forcing the issue where Ayuk staying after practice, working with Brock, or do whatever you got to do to get that report back because it's really, really important.
I agree. East Coast Red and Gold podcast says they didn't pay him to act like a child. Grow up. Strong words.
Ooh, that's Jess from East Coast Red and Gold
No.
podcast. Shout out to her.
Shout out to Jess. We did a show this week.
Oh, you did?
Much,
Okay, I didn't know
yeah,
that. All right.
much props. Good people. Man.
Jess
It was
is
a fun
awesome,
time.
man. Yeah, when I was at the when you ran into me at the game last year for the home opener, New York Giants, she actually invited me and a whole bunch of people to sit up in that gold mine section. RIP to the gold mine section. If you know, you know. But she was there with her mom, and they were awesome.
Yeah, she's cool. I've seen her at a lot of events and stuff. She's always big time Niner like fanatic. So, dope stuff. We saw her
She
at
has
the
pictures with like the whole team, man.
She always see every week picture with Kyle Shanahan out at the hotel, like the whole squad. She knows where they're at. So yeah, it's pretty cool. We got a couple questions or comments. My man Throwback says Nick Bosa hasn't been Nick Bosa. What do you think? Do you think Nick Bosa's been Nick Bosa? Or I got a comment on that. I got my take on it. But he says that he hasn't been able to sleep all week. You know, we can't just be fine with the outcome. Like, he's saying all the right things, but you look at his stats and they just don't look like he's the highest paid defensive player in the league. What's your take on Nick Bosa, Bash?
So in the previous game, I did predict like 2 sacks against the Vikings, and I was like, okay, I'm watching the game. I'm like, oh, cool, this guy's 2 sacks, but he didn't really get much help in that game. Now he did put on some pressure this past game. It wasn't like he was terrible or anything like that, but a lot of people set the expectations a bit higher for him against the Rams because, I mean, most people would say it's a patchwork O line. If you say it's a patchwork O line, it's an understatement because their O line, like they basically had a bunch of like Pop Warner dudes out there. That's how bad their injuries are on the O line. And you can say the Niners had bad injuries, but their O line was decimated before that game. But they found a way at points and times to minimize Bosa when they needed to. And that really sucked. And that's why Stafford was making those big throws from time to time. That's why Tutu Atwell was looking like a freaking Hall of Famer. It's just, yeah, I don't want to relive that game ever again or as a game like that in the future. Let's just say that. But Bosa, he's got to be the leader. He's got to step up and get everybody hyped up. And when are we going to see Leonard Floyd do something too, man? That guy, man.
I know. See, it's kind of my take. And shout out to Tutu. If you know, you know. I told this story earlier in the week. Tutu, not Tutu Atwell. I had a friend in elementary school. His name was Tutu, or like his street name. His street name was Tutu. He was like a little gangster boy, but he was cool dude. He looked out for me. I always had people looking out for me because I was a scrawny little dude, but people loved me because I was a popular kid. And this dude Tutu, he was cool dude because I could get whatever I needed. Like I got him like bike parts or clothes, like anything he wanted. You know me, I was always the guy that had.
Sounds like you were in prison or something, man. Like one of those prison movies.
Nah, he was a cool dude, but he always like, yo, Raj, I don't have money for lunch, and I would always like help him out. I was a good dude, and he's like, oh, I appreciate you. So anytime I got in like a scrum or and he was like he was a street kid, like he beat your ass up, and he always had my back. Like I remember I get in a fight, and then all of a sudden Tutu out of nowhere, like you mess with my boy Raj, I got his back, and he would like beat people up, like he was straight like thug, And I just remember his name was Tutu. I got him in middle school. He was cool dude. He always looked out for me. In high school, he always looked out for me, dude. He was a cool dude. So shout out to Tutu. It's my boy back in the day.
Does he know about all your Niner stuff online or what
No,
you're
I
doing
haven't
now?
talked to him since
Okay.
grade school, but man, he was
Oh, okay.
he was a thug. He didn't get good grades or anything. I let him cheat off my paper every once in a while. Like, yeah, get a C. He's like, I need to do good on this test, Raj. Here, just show my paper. Like, here, just copy the answers. I'm gonna ace this test. So I was that
That's
type of guy.
cool.
And
That's cool.
anyways, back to the point. Nick Bosa, man, he's been playing. Like, I think he plays good. I know fans want him to take over games like T.J. Watt, Miles Garrett. Like, go out there and be that guy. That's what they're paying him for. They don't want excuses. The problem is Leonard Floyd's not helping him, and teams double him, triple him, chip him. Like, everything they do, they throw at him. Like, it's not an excuse. But man, you watch the film. I think John Chapman posted it today. Thankfully, somebody finally posted it. What I've been saying, like, he goes out there and it's like boom, double, triple, boom, double. They just focus on Bosa and they hold him, do everything they can to take him out because they know there's no threat on the other side. There's no pressure coming from the other side, and the Niners don't blitz a lot either. They're not blitzing, so Bosa has to kind of create his own pressure. And sometimes it gets tiring, man. Like, I get it. He's a big, strong dude. But I feel like Bosa's mentally frustrated out there because it's the same shit every single week. And the rest of the D line is just not getting pressure. So if Bosa can't get pressure and the rest of the defensive line, it's a combination of that. But yeah, he needs to step up. He's not putting up the numbers we expect out of a guy that's getting paid what he's getting paid. So yeah, Bosa needs more. He needs to take over the fourth quarter. Like TJ Watt, he could be quiet all game. All of a sudden, fourth quarter comes, TJ Watt is in your mouth. He's unbelievable. So
TJ Watt's a badass. And we all know that Bosa's mild mannered and we're not going to change. We can't change who he is, but on the field, I would just love to see him be just a guy who shouts at people for not doing things right, like similar to the way Brock Purdy is, right? Brock Purdy's got the balls to just tell people, "Hey, man, hey, no clowning around here. Let's get our heads on straight." Like that's what I love about Brock Purdy. And Brock Purdy's like the nicest, humblest guy, but when he needs to be, he's that loud guy who's got the dog in him. And I'd love to see Bosa become that guy one day. And when we see it this year, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if he's mild mannered on the field, but it seems like he is. And I need to see him like just say like fucking shut up and get to business. Like I need to see him like get that dog in him. You're right. Like call people out. My man John V over here. Shout out to John.
What up, John V.
He says call Ndamukong Suh and get his ass off the sofa. What do you think? Ndamukong Suh to the Niners? Should they do it?
Assuming he still has some gas left in the tank, I'm not gonna sign him, or I don't know what kind of money he'd command at this stage of his career, and then have him be just a flop, But who knows, man? Now, he was pretty badass at one point in time.
Yeah, I mean, I feel
it's
like
almost like we had no other choice anymore with all these guys hurt, man.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like he's at least decent to come in and play a couple games. I mean, he probably won't want to play a whole season though, because he's older. He's at the end of his career. Maybe like 5 games or mid-season kind of signing. Because right now, you're right. Jordan Elliott banged up. Hargrave's out for the season. Maybe they move. What's his name? Yetur Gross-Matos, maybe they move him inside, play him a little bit there, but then that takes away from the edge. I mean, he is a tweener. You got Kevin Givens, that can come in and step it. They're hoping Kalia Davis comes back soon, but he's a young guy. You can't expect much out of him. So the interior D-line is taking a beating, man. This whole D-line right now, it's just not what it was supposed to be, and a lot of people are losing faith in Nick Sorensen. I don't know. His D-line is just not producing. The defense in general is not producing. Secondary not looking great, especially when they can't get pressure up front. It puts more pressure on the secondary, and all of these safeties are getting just like burned because they don't have speed. We don't truly have a free safety. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I'll get to that in just a second. But I love Chris Kocurek. I really, really do. But I don't see him working at Chris Kocurek magic. I'm not trying to put the blame on him, but he's a D-line coach at this end of the day, so he better find a way to make this work. He really needs to get that done. And the players, the D linemen themselves, have to find a way to get to work. But, bro, I've been saying for quite some time. Yeah, sure, we got 3 promising safeties. Talanoa Hufanga, when he's on point, he's an All-Pro. We know that. Jair Brown at points and times looked pretty damn good in his rookie campaign. Malik Mustafa looked amazing at points and times in the preseason, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I was always telling myself, I told this to a few people, I may have said it on my show a few times, but that it's like we have 3 like pretty nice safeties, potentially a nice one in Malik. He's a rookie, I get it. But which one of them is going to be a free safety? It's like these guys are all strong safeties. Like I don't picture any of these guys playing free safety. People are like, oh, don't worry, Hufanga could be the free safety. Like it's wishful thinking because we haven't seen him out there as a free safety. I really hope I'm wrong. I hope he can do it. I mean, do we have to put George? Would you have to try George Odom back on the field? I wish we had. I wish we had Tyshawn Gibson. And I wish he wasn't old enough for us to let him go or him to walk away from the game or whatever.
Well, he got suspended, and then another team signed him. So that's the problem with him. Niners weren't going to sign him back because he got suspended for PEDs. But John makes a good point. We got 2 box safeties out there running around getting cooked. Like we can't have box safeties playing coverage. They have good players against the run, but they're too slow to create, to cover. That's why it goes back to the offseason where maybe they should have got Justin Simmons or something. And then, this is falling on the defensive coordinator because that's his team. That's his defense. That's who he's coaching. And, Red and Gold podcast just made a good point saying that, when D'Amico was first DC, he struggled a little bit. But I just didn't see the struggles as much. Maybe Sorensen would put it together.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this defense just doesn't look as mighty as what D'Amico had. And Salah as well. Salah struggled a little bit to kind of get his footing. But Sorensen's just really inexperienced. I don't know, man. I hope they figure it out. Maybe Staley takes over a little bit more down the line because they got Brendan Staley. But those safeties, man, they need a free safety. Jair Brown is definitely not a coverage guy. He's slow, and, he can play the run. But if you have to put him back there to cover, and we got some good receivers coming up, that's not going to look pretty. The Niners are getting beat deep. Teams know it, and they just say, shit, chuck it out there, throw it up. You might get PI or you might get a big pass. So right now, teams are strategizing to just throw it deep on the Niners. And until they can stop it, they're going to keep doing it, man. And that's what's frustrating right now because they are so susceptible to that deep pass. Tutu, your boy Tutu just went out there and dropped, that bomb towards the end of the game. I was like, oh, my God. And he said it. Matt Stafford, he wasn't getting pressured and he got comfortable. When you get a good veteran quarterback comfy like that, he just said, okay, boom, and he went deep. And then it's the same thing with Justin Jefferson the other week.
Don't remind me
Sam
of
Darnold dropped back, stepped in the pocket, and doom, he saw Justin Jefferson take a leak over the middle, just go, and it was easy money for him. So
when those type of plays happen to our defense, it's mortifying, man. It's a shot to the heart.
And it's a momentum killer. Like your defense is just like, oh, it's like you fall to your knees at Walmart. It's like you do the Will Levi's,
The fall to these at Walmart. That's funny. Sorensen, dude. Why aren't we blitzing? I think we only blitzed 7 times, and we're constantly showing the blitz. Like, hey, we're about to blitz. We're about to blitz. But then they back up in coverage. We do that. We do that probably more than any other team in the NFL. But yet we don't actually do the blitz. Blitz.
It's like they're gaslighting. It's like, why are you gaslighting? Just blitz.
It's the boy who cried wolf is what it is. They know we're not going to blitz. So like, okay, we know you're not going to blitz. We're going to just throw on you anyways.
You know who we need to get in there? We need Renardo Green, man. That guy's a dog. I'm going to call Nick Sorensen right now.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, I think you were expecting a phone call. Or there you go.
Yo, Big Nick, you know what? I know you got a game on Sunday. Good luck, man. I used to call Steve Wilkes before the games. It's the first time I'm going to call you. Look, man, I love you. I need you to step it up as a DC, man. I'm going to send you a neck pillow. So when you're on travel games, it'll help you out. Relax your neck. You seem a little tense. You seem a little stressed. I'm going to hook you up. I'm going to also get you a new surfboard because you look like a guy that loves to surf. But I'm going to need something from you. I'm going to need you to play Renardo Green. Maybe play my free safety. I don't know. I need you to tinker with the lineup. I need you to blitz. All right, Nick? Have a blessed weekend. Let's get this win on Sunday. And please have your defense prepared. Have a good night. I love you, man. So hopefully Nick Sorensen can get it together. I hope so.
North Shore Nick. Remember that movie, The North Shore? He could totally be in that movie. Yeah.
Surfer, boy. He looks like he goes to Pacifica When he has free time, he just like cruises
Santa
the
Cruz.
waves. Oh my god, I don't see it
I missed your
ending
phone
this.
calls. I know it's been a while since I've seen you do that. So,
Been a minute.
and that was warranted. That was warranted. We had to give the guy a call
We
because
needed to. I have. You know what? I think that's why the Niners have been losing. I haven't called Nick Sorensen to give him his weekly pep talk. I used to do it to Steve Wilkes every week. It needs to happen. It will be back. It's my fault. Um, yeah, it's my issue. So let's get into this game. Oh wait, before we get into this game, last topic I want to talk to before we get into this prediction. So there was a lot of information about Christian McCaffrey, the reigning offensive player of the year. Earlier this week, a doctor, a NHL medical director, said, he based on what he's doing. Christian McCaffrey, right? He went to Germany and he understands the nature of what's going on, the treatment that they do in Germany, the stem cell. So Christian McCaffrey's visit to Germany for treatment of his ailing Achilles could last a couple of months. This was according to Dr. Kenton Feeble, an NHL medical director who specializes in these issues, right? So he was like, oh, based on my opinion, I mean, he's a doctor. I think that's a good opinion to have, and someone credible. I mean, yeah, he may not know exactly what's going on, but he's probably had many athletes with Achilles tendonitis that have gone and got these, plasma cells or stem cells. I mean, the NHL, there's a lot of international players. They probably go to Germany for treatment. So he has some experience, it ruffled a lot of feathers. Kyle Shanahan finally talked to KNBR yesterday. He says, I think we'll get a better idea the next couple of weeks. We've let him rest. He's seen a specialist, as many as they can. He says, we'll test it out here sooner or later. That was yesterday. This morning, John Lynch said we needed it to quiet down, talking about the inflammation, the swelling. He says the plan was to give it time to do that. And at some point, we got to ramp him back up. He says, he says people who work on his body have for a long time. Now he's back here and we'll have to hit certain markers and try to ramp up. He said, God willing, this thing has quieted down and we can build him up in a smart, thoughtful way. So that was John Lynch this morning, basically saying, the inflammation has calmed down. We got to try to build him up now. Let's see if it responds to ramping him up. And then today, Kyle Shanahan, he says that the 49ers are aiming to begin ramping up Christian McCaffrey's rehab on Monday. So they've let it calm down. They've let the calf die, the swelling die down. Now they have to see if they ramp it up that it responds. So it's a good update, but in my opinion, this is where I'm going to take it, and people aren't going to like it. If it doesn't respond well to ramping it up, they got to shut him down again. So then the doctor could be right. It could be longer than we thought. So that's it. With the Achilles tendonitis, you have to let the inflammation die down. But eventually you got to test it out, and that's what they're going to do. And if they test it out and he's having more problems, then that's bad news.
It is. I mean, this isn't my field of expertise. Obviously, you're the perfect guy to talk about these. You're in the, physical therapy industry. But at the end of the day, as a 49er fan, I mean, we all hope for our guys to be healthy and whoa, he's flying all the way to Germany for this injury. Like, that was a big major head scratcher. Like, I never heard of any NFL player doing that, but any NFL player has that in the past, and I just totally overlooked it. And just prayers for CMC, man, to get better. And just this whole injury bug thing has been really, really it's been disheartening. I don't know what to say, man. I just want the best for CMC, and then everybody's throwing out the Madden curse this, Madden curse that. I personally don't believe in things like that. It's just a coincidental type thing. CMC is the man. He's the guy. He just needs to shake this off and fight it out. And hopefully we see him like Lynch said, God willing, man, say your prayers. And maybe by mid-season we see him, who knows, or maybe a little bit after mid-season. I mean, if we have him when it counts and he's right when it counts, hey, whatever, man. Bring him as a reinforcement. I know we're paying him shit ton of money, whatever, and we gave him that extension. Again, it's not my money, it's not your money. But if we have him at the right time when it counts, and like you mentioned earlier, like we might be a wild card team this year, right? But maybe things are more in our favor because we're always a top dog team, right? Oh, the 49ers are so good. They're number one seed. They're going to go to the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl. And then disappointment time, right? So maybe it's one of those underdog type seasons where everything pans out for us. I'm looking further ahead. I get it. And maybe things work with this CMC coming in as a replacement or whatever. So reinforcement, that is. But we did have obviously Jordan Mason's balling. Guerrero got some carries. Brock Purdy ran for 41 yards. I don't want him doing that week in and week out. But I remember you saying that we were going to possibly sign a running back. I'm surprised we haven't signed a veteran in the meantime.
I'm surprised too. I thought for sure we'd have Matt Breida or somebody on this roster at least. I know they got Isaac Orendo, but he's still learning and he's young and he's developing. And Jordan Mason's playing his tail off, but you can't expect him to keep up 20 carries a game and not wear down. I hope he can. I don't want to wish him any bad luck, but it's just tough being a running back in this league, and he's never had the high volume. How's Mason going to respond to having this high volume? So I agree with you. Hopefully CMC could come back towards the end of the season for the stretch run, and he'd have fresh legs. I mean, to have a guy like CMC towards the end of the season and he hadn't played all year, I mean, that's going to be amazing shot of adrenaline to the team. But again, I know John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan are trying to be optimistic and give the fans, a good positive report on this situation and say, yeah, we're going to ramp them up. And, they're trying to be positive, but again, just based on my medical knowledge, I want to kind of tread lightly. I don't want to take everything and be like, oh, he's back on Monday, he's going to ramp it up and everything's great. Because there is a possibility, Bash, that he goes out there, they ramp it up and it doesn't respond, but hopefully what he did in Germany helps him out. They have a lot more options than they can do in the United States that are not approved by the FDA. So he can go get these like high dosage of stem cells. Kobe Bryant did it. He came back and he still played like a dog. So it's possible.
Once you said the regulations, now it makes sense why he went over there. Now I get it.
Yeah, he didn't.
At first, I was like, wait, what about all the doctors in the States? Why can't they be here and do this?
They're not going to give them the stuff that they have over there because it's not FDA approved. It's not illegal. The NFL allows it, but you got to go to them Deutschland. You need to go down to Deutschland.
49er Germany.
Yeah, 49er Germany. Get them German stem cells. Throw that shit in your Achilles.
Who has that song? Why am I blanking on dude's name? I had him on my show before too. That one rapper. 149 rapper, awesome dude, man. He has the 49er Germany song. Buritz would know. He's in the chat. Shout out to Buritz. He's another.
Yeah. We gotta get that Germany blood, man.
That's Johnny Canal, I think, or Dave Canal. Dave Canal. 49er Germany. Look it up. It's a good song.
49er Germany.
Because the German 49, the 49er fan base in Germany is dope, dude.
They're crazy.
They got a group of like 20 or 30 dudes that go to like more games than the average Niner fan lives in the States. Real talk.
That's
I've
crazy.
met them before.
From Germany?
Yes, I've met them at the tailgates. They're nuts, man. They're really good guys, dude.
That's crazy, man. 49ers throwback says, I don't believe it till I see it. I said the same thing today. Somebody texted me. I was like, oh, did Germany work? I was like, wow, wait till we see him on the field. Again, I don't want to be like negative Nancy about it. I just have medical knowledge, and it's not like he's just gonna magically. They're not gonna freaking Mr. Miyagi put on that and oh, he's back.
Guess who's back? Back again.
I hope he comes back though.
I know.
Need him.
Hey, speaking of coming back, I heard there's a possibility of Pearsall possibly practicing after this week.
Oh yeah, so let's talk about Pearsall. John Lynch talked about him this morning on KMBR, and he says that after this week, we can open his practice window, and all signs are indicating that he'll be okay for that. Getting him back in practice will be a big deal, and then we have a couple of weeks where we can activate him or just keep him practicing. He's doing really well. He's put in the work, and he's eager to get out there. He's trending in a really good direction. So you know what? Ricky Pearsall, next week, they're going to open up the practice window. Let's go, man. I'm hyped up. I know everybody is excited for Ricky Pearsall. Like, come on, man. Everybody wants to see Ricky Pearsall go out there and succeed. We all want him to play, and the day he comes back, that game is going to be lights, camera, action. He's going to be the most talked about player the day he comes back. It's going to be a fantastic debut, hopefully sooner rather than later. So, yeah, next week, get ready. Ricky P will be cleared to practice. So, I can't wait for that. Bash.
I'm hyped up to see Ricky P. I'm very hyped up to see him.
We all are, man. So, Bash, we got the Patriots on Sunday. The Niners are a 10-point favorite at home, Levi Stadium. Are we winning this game? Tell me.
Just a second. I got something for you. Hang on. Why doesn't it let me do this? Here you go. Sunday. I felt like I had to say that. Yeah, we got to win this game. We have to win this game. And it sucks at this point in time in the season that we have a must-win game, but this is a must-win game. Purdy's going to be coming out firing on all cylinders. JJ's going to be JJ. Juwan Jennings, if you know, you know. Kittle's back. We got Jordan Mason, who looks excellent running in that zone scheme. I love watching Jordan Mason run the ball. He's got excellent acceleration. It's just a beautiful thing. He's not the pass catcher that CMC is, but hopefully, finally, this is the game that Ayuk steps up and becomes a real Ayuk. That would be really, really nice. That would help us a whole lot. And the defense, man, they like you called Sorensen for a reason, man. You got on the phone with him for a reason, man. The defense has to be the real 49er defense, not this crap where we fall apart just because a special teams blunder happens and then we look like the bottom defense in the league. But they have no choice but to win this game. Moody's got to make his field goals. People got to catch their passes. Special teams got to cover. I mean, I hear we played a pretty good kick returner too, though. But I still got the Niners winning, man. Let's do this.
Yeah, I got the Niners winning. I got them winning 24-10. They should be able to dominate this team by at least 2 touchdowns. Brock Purdy, he's going to wheel and deal. He's going to be throwing it, carving them up. Can Brandon Ayuk show up to this game? I hope so. But you know what? Jennings and Kittle, they'll tear it up. They're going to do what they got to do. Jordan Mason, he's going to continue to run. Hopefully he gets 100 yards this week and a tutty. You know, last week he fell short of that, but they had to get away from that run game at the end. They shouldn't have. They should have just kept running the ball when they were up, but it's another story for another day. I think the Niners are going to just be too much. I think they're going to be pissed off. You got Kittle coming back. I think the Niners know this. There's urgency. They've been in the Super Bowl. They've won a lot of games. You're not going to lose to the Patriots at home. If they do, it's going to be nuclear, and I don't think it's going to be nuclear. We're going to get our first victory Monday this week, and I can't wait. That's going to be great. We haven't had a victory Monday yet, Bash. We're going to get one after they beat the Patriots 24-10. Again, the Patriots are still looking for their identity. And you know what? I just hope that Brandon Ayuk shows up with the right jersey. I hope he doesn't wear the wrong jersey. He wore the wrong shorts today, and now if he wears the wrong jersey on Sunday, I'm going to be sick. What if he comes in with the throwback jersey and they're wearing the standard red jerseys? Like, what are you doing?
He can show up with a Sierra college jersey from Rockland because they were red, and Arizona State jersey, Sun Devils. I don't know, man. He might have something up his sleeve. No pun intended. So.
I mean, oh my God. I mean, if he's colorblind, that's fine, and there's that's fine. If you are, just let us know. But come on, man. Maybe that's what maybe he's colorblind, and I got no disrespect to anybody like that because I work with a lot of disabled people. So if that's the key, if that's the thing, just let us know. But wear the right jersey, BA. Like that's all I ask for. Just wear the right jersey. John says, show up with your separation shoes on. Wear the separation shoes, man.
Supposedly there was some stat thrown out. I don't know where I saw it, but it was like Ayuk had the most separation wins out of any receiver in the NFL, or his number 2 in the NFL. Like, yeah, so some weird stat was thrown out there. I'm like, sure, that's great, but at the end of the day, you still got to catch the ball, right?
Yeah, you might be separating you could separate all you want. But you got to catch it. Like when the ball's in your hand, you could be separated. Keep them separated. I don't care.
I remember that one.
Yeah, that was a good. Shout out to Osprey.
Yeah,
you can be separated as much as you can in this league. But if you can't catch the ball, it don't matter how much you separated, right? So wear those separation shoes. Get open. Don't put popcorn butter on your hands before the game. Go out there and catch the ball. You know what? And I don't want to see Ronnie Bell anywhere near the ball this Sunday.
Bell Biv DeVoe, man. I've been wanting Terrace Marshall to be elevated to the roster. You know me, I've told you that already. I was telling you that before last week's game. It didn't happen. I like Jacob Cowing. He seems like a nice little prospect. I wish we would have tried to throw him a deep ball in that scenario. I'd much rather have the deep ball go to Chris Conley in that scenario. Nice veteran. If you see Conley, and whenever he has the huddle and he has to rally the troops, man, he's got the dog in him, man. He's on those NFL films type things when he's mic'd up.
I saw that.
Conley's a nice veteran to have, man.
He's good, man. He's a cool dude. Yeah, he speaks so well too. Like I've seen him in the press conferences. I saw that mic'd up. I was like, it's a very well spoken gentleman. He's a great veteran. I like Conley. Hopefully Kyle figures that part out. But we'll see, man.
Speaks so well. That's a shout out to Chris Rock from one of the specials. He said that.
We'll see, man. Brock Purdy, throwback says Brock Purdy needs 43 more rushing yards to surpass Garoppolo's career total of 264. He also needs, I think, I can't remember exactly, 250.
Jimmy G stat.
Yeah, if he throws for 256 yards, something like that, 250, 260 yards this weekend, he will pass Jimmy Garoppolo for the most passing yards in the 49ers history for the first 25 games by a quarterback.
Oh, wow.
I need that stat. I need Brock Purdy to make that stat happen. I can't have I need him to be that guy.
What's the stat that he had about the
278 passing yards.
but no, not that one, not the yards, but in his first 3 seasons, he has like the most 100 quarterback rating games, or was it 130 plus?
Oh,
quarterback?
yeah.
Yeah,
Was,
that's a really eye-opening stat right there.
he's good, man. Brock, people don't respect him enough.
I don't know why,
but he makes so many he makes so many stats. Like he's broken a lot of records. He's the last pick in the draft. Shout out to Brock. So I'm glad we got Brock Purdy, man. As long as he's healthy and Fred Warner's healthy, this team has a chance to win a lot of games. So, Bash, anything else going on this weekend before the game?
Okay, so I don't think I dropped my score prediction yet. So let me do that first.
Let me know. Yeah, what's your score?
Okay, prediction? So my score prediction will be 28-14.
28-14. Okay, so you got a 14-point win just like me.
Okay, there you go.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah, I just think it's been long overdue that we're not closing out on certain drives. We're not punching it in, and I think we'll do it a little bit more this time around. And the Patriots do have a pretty solid defense, by the way.
They got a good defense, but they're on the road, inexperienced. They got a new coach. I think we both have them winning by 14 points. If they don't win on Sunday, it's gonna be a new.
Heads are gonna be rolling, or what? What's going on, man?
Something like that. It's gonna
be. Your phone's gonna be blowing up like Drake used to call me on the cell phone.
They used to call me on the cell phone. They're gonna be blowing that shit up, talking about Rod, blah 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 blah. Oh my God, you're right. So hopefully the Niners get the dub. Appreciate everybody in the chat tonight. Love you guys. Make sure you guys hit that like button, comment, subscribe, all that podcasty stuff. We love you. Until next Friday, I'll see you. Bash will see you. Hopefully next week when we talk to you, we're talking about a big fat dub. Wu-Tang, let's go. Peace.
Yes, sir.